I think also matches up really well for these two teams. Both great at Nuke, both great at Train, our opening maps, and we're off! ENCE versus Astralis, the grand finals here at Blast Madrid. And we've got ENCE on that CT side, and already the door has been exploderized, James, by Zipex.
Indeed it has, and that may attract the defenders into that A bomb site, but Astralis are charging down towards the B area. We may see a little rotation now. We've got a player on the higher ground, that's Alexi B. He's waiting, inviting these players in with Emerald Green CZ, conserving the bullets, bursting. Not quite getting the second frag, but X7 says to take out Magisk as well. Sergey is going to take out Zipex on the high ground, which leaves it at 2 versus 4. Bomb plant looking unlikely. They've got to find some frags first, and there is time to do that. Ooh, that could have been a headshot for Device, but it wasn't denied, and that is ENCE with the first pistol round of the series. I have to say, the local commentators as well, the Spanish commentators, their energy has been amazing going out in the crowd when we haven't been live during the qualifiers at the beginning. Has been awesome, fantastic atmosphere, and those guys are delivering as well. Yeah, and
you know, this is an interesting spot because, again, for me, and I mean, for everyone, of course, you know, ENCE the underdogs in this series, and always nice to see them start off with that victory on the pistol side. And I almost like, you know, seeing Astralis get put in that position where you think, oh, you know, they're in such a desperate spot, it's very difficult to come back from. Just to see how their genius and their artistry in Counter-Strike can prove us otherwise. As we will have a quick pause coming in here, and you know, ENCE, of course, off the back of that victory on the first round, will be investing in the rifles, the SMGs. And as far as Astralis' approach to ENCE, James, I'm not really sure how their research has, you know, what that has gone into, like what approach is going to come out from all of the research that they've done on ENCE, and of course all the experience that they already have playing for ENCE, and how that is going to look in this matchup, because these teams do know each other quite well.
Device is just sorting out a audio issue, which I'm sure that's why the second admin is popping in to have a look. So hopefully that is resolved quickly. And indeed, stylistically, ENCE have posed an interesting question in the run-up to the majors and beyond. And I'm sure that will continue to be an issue for Astralis to deal with here. Maybe looking for revenge, Astralis. You can see Device has his headset back on. We'll see if he is ready to go just yet. If you haven't been to Spain, or if you're not familiar with Spanish culture, then I highly recommend you seek yourself out some sangria. Really nice drink.
It's a nice drink.
It's a nice drink. It's a nice drink.
It's a lovely drink.
It's a lovely drink.
Indeed. And
mainly
a
with red wine, bunch of
well.
fruits and other bits and bobs.
Do you know what's also really good with, James? It's also really good with sangria.
What is paella?
No, sangria.
Sangria is good as sangria.
Exactly.
We may have had 4 jugs of sangria somewhere in here.
Somewhere in there. That's where we were.
Some shots of Spain, a beautiful place. It's spending so much time in America. It's nice to have like that European history and the buildings and so on. It's beautiful, beautiful area. Definitely worth a visit if you've never been here. Also worth a train down to Valencia.
Yeah, you can get the bullet train to Barcelona in like 2.5 hours if you so choose. For a mere 150 euros, James. I think it's worth it. I've heard so many amazing things about Barcelona, and I've never gotten to go. You've been there, right?
I did. I went on a tour bus and I passed out because it was so hot. I'll tell you, I passed out. I kind of fell asleep. I mean, they equate to the same thing. But all the Gaudi bits and bobs are really nice in Barcelona. Yeah, I had a great time there. Definitely recommend it. I used to go to Valencia for every DreamHack Valencia. Which was kind of like a paid holiday. It was pretty amazing going down to the beach in the summer there with all the fighting game crew.
Yeah, I think we had like there's a DreamHack event there a long time ago with Face It as well, where I stayed in Airbnb for a week afterwards. It was incredible. Really relaxed vibe, and that's the opposite vibe as to the vibe in the stadium and in the player booth here, because this is a really intense fight, and Astralis have a lot to prove, James, because obviously in Miami, that didn't go as expected. It felt like, for whatever reason, Astralis, they struggled, they hit an enormous pothole, and they were unable to recover, which is unlike them. And, you know, we've all been wondering, how long does the Astralis indomitability last for, and how, you know, what will their era look like, if, you know, when we look back on it in history? Or will it ever end, James? Will it ever end?
I want dominance for as long as possible.
Yeah.
10 seconds to go until the second round is ready to pop. Astralis, having lost the pistol round, have gone for the force buy. They've got a lot of smoke grenades. There's a scout on device. We've got 3 Desert Eagles and the CZ on Zipex. Everybody with Kevlar at a minimum on Astralis. We'll see how ENCE deal with this. ENCE have already had challenges where people have tried to delay them and put them in an awkward position on Nuke with some smoke grenades, and they passed that test. But maybe they have the toughest test now versus Astralis. Of course, that was more of an issue with ENCE on the T side. They're on the CT side, so we'll see what Astralis have in mind with these smoke grenades. I'm sure we'll eventually see a wall outside. Alu's already made his way towards the secret position. So there's the bounce towards main. That kind of isolates crossfires and so on, but Aerial won't have much challenge. And now he can take the focus while Alu tries to pop out. There's the Org taking the scout out of play, leaving 3 pistols. See Alexi just poking and prodding around the smoke grenade, so looking pretty comfortable for ENCE so far. Now, Astralis, they want to do, I would say they want to, if they can't get a bomb planted, they want to take out 1-2 players to be satisfied with this force buy. That doesn't look likely just yet. Aerial's down to 29 HP, Alexi B 59, so they're in dangerous waters as far as the Deagle's concerned. Alexi will be left with very few if he takes one to the chest. 36 seconds, 2 flashes, 2 smoke grenades. I think they're focusing on the frag attempt at the very least. Zipex looking for someone to get too close. Beautiful pick with the CZ. Instantly traded by Aerial, but again, he's got to be careful as well because he's low. He can concede that position because his teammates are in situ to stop a bomb plant. Now, Dupree and Magisk have 15 seconds, essentially, to die, otherwise to get no loss bonus. So they should be running into a bomb site near you very soon indeed.
Oh, okay, well, Magisk has got a kill. There's just enough time to plant the bomb. Did he get on it? No, he didn't get on in time. That is a shame. Unfortunate there for them, but a good attempt. Did they die after time, though? Let's have a look. Yes, Dupree did. Yeah. Dupree died after time. He has a mere $300.
Yeah, but he clearly chose to focus on the impact on their economy rather than his. So if one guy's on a pistol, I think they're happy with that based on the amount of damage they did. Definitely was the primary focus in that mini situation. Astralis on the pistols now. No utility whatsoever. And they're very soft. No Kevlar on this occasion, saving the money, of course. So far, so good for ENCE. First round of this best-of-3 series. The grand final here in Madrid. Alu creeping up the secret stairs. You can see 3 Astralis man them outside. But again, just poking and prodding. And there's not much beyond Glocks, really. We have a PT-50 and a Deagle. And 3 Glocks. From these kind of ranges, you might require 3 headshots to frag somebody with a Glock. There's one.
Sometimes just 1 Deagle is all that's necessary. And Alu's been dinked by a Glock at long range, maybe a couple times, considering how his health is. It takes like 3 headshots from a Glock to get a kill. And there's a lot of damage fall off at range. We'll take down 1 more player, and it's just a slow bleed so far here for Astralis as they edge inch by inch into more fragging and damage opportunities. But of course, as you can see, it's just so incredibly favorable here for their opponents. At the very least, they are forcing, by playing this round slowly, to force their opponents to use more grenades, I should say, which is economic damage as well. And there we go. A lovely finish by the squeaky door. And 3-0 is the score. And now the AKs come out, the gloves come off for Astralis. Full buy for them.
What do they have in store for their opponent? Dupree will have a Desert Eagle. Not terrible. Can expect 1 guy might fall, can maybe pick up a weapon if he's in position. Again, I think it's worth it for the damage they did to ENCE to have 1 guy on a pistol. So it will be one of those fast executes into the A-bomb site. ENCE are no strangers to this. So far, so good. Some blind frags and some frags where they can see as well. Easy clean up with these SMGs. Money being made. Glaive needs to find more, but he won't. Aerial survives on 1 HP. And 4 survive for ENCE overall. 4-0. They continue. That's a solid hold. That's it's almost identical to an execute that ENCE do themselves into the A-bomb site that we've seen in this tournament so far. So they'll be well versed in how to deal with that also.
And lots of time, lots of rounds left for Astralis. And this time, not just one Deagle, but they have upgraded to 5. Everyone with a Deagle. Device has helped himself to a smoke grenade as well. And this should be a much better round for damage potential for them. Again, you really want to keep your opponent's economy honest. And so far, it's growing out of control. I think really for Astralis, it's kind of a must to find at least 2 kills if they possibly can here. And try to play a slow round again. Burn away as much of their opponent's utility as they possibly can. And just have to be disciplined and hold favorable positions and angles, not get greedy for kills. And I think we can only expect the most razor-focused focus for them in rounds such as this, in grand finals such as this. So, not much to be found there for Magisk. Zipex will try his luck outside. They were scoped up Orgs everywhere. It's not good times, is it?
Oh, I heard that one. The Orgs have been so dangerous, just overall, and I believe it's Dust 2 is the decider, should it come down to that. And the Orgs on the CT side, obviously, have been so dangerous, so brutal on the site holds. dupreeh with the Deagle, though. Again, another situation where I think Astralis won at least 2 frags out of this. I think they'd be happy with that. 1 down, 1 to go. Won't be easy with how much HP they have. And there we go, that's 5 in a row immediately for ENCE. They're on fire.
Yeah, nice smooth start from them. How far will it go? AWP out for Device. And that could be quite interesting. It's very useful outside, but it's one of those maps, kind of like Inferno in some regards, where it can be difficult to get the AWP going. On the T side of things. We'll have to see what it looks like for Astralis. Obviously, they'll have ways to set up Device. And there is one of those, opening the door, finding a pick towards main. Blind spray, not finding anything. Very aggressive here from ENCE straight away. And they smoked off Trophy. My God, they've taken over lobby. They've conceded outside, but they have so much more position as a trade. And that's beautiful from ENCE.
ENCE are ready for Nuke. That much is clear. dupreeh on the high ground of the A-bomb site. But will he find anybody? He will. He'll find one. Alexi dancing around, delaying the frag. Alu on a very direct rotation. That's a free kill. That evens the numbers with over a minute on the clock for Astralis. I don't know if they even were able to face dupreeh in either of those engagements, so they might not know where the bomb is. He doesn't have the bomb, but they might not necessarily know that. Although now they will with Sergey's position. Creeping up of A. It is Glaive carrying the bomb. He's outside at the moment. He knows where one of the 2 CTs are. So where does he choose to go? He's moving into the main position. Moving into A. Sees X7, but not for long. 6-0 for ENCE.
Yes, it is looking all too easy so far. And just the timing of going like ultra aggressive with that sort of split into lobby through ramp as well as Hart and Squeaky is amazing. Really impressive. And
Dan, 4 of the 5 players on Astralis are on 1 kill.
Indeed.
dupreeh's on 6. Man like dupreeh is up there with 6. 4 guys have a kill each.
Well, you got to find position. You got to fight for position. Oh God, Alexi sort of messing up his trajectory and his jump a little bit. And they're going to hear the running on the top of the main position. So ENCE, they're going to understand exactly what's going on. Magisk will still take down Aerial. I think he's still looking for more players outside. He might just find him running forwards with the P250. Very important he didn't die there. We'll get more creeping into the upper bomb side here. Sergey will easily deal with the first, but dupreeh keeps causing issues here. Alexi B can't adjust either, and between Device and dupreeh, they've nailed it.
The double Ds come swinging in to take the first round for Astralis. 1 to the 6 of ENCE. See, the money situation for ENCE post-buy is far from spectacular. So there is early opportunity for Astralis to pull things back. You can see Sergey spending 84.50. Even if he had max money, that's like half of it gone immediately. Not much left in the coffers for ENCE. This has got to be an important one for both sides. dupreeh looking for an engagement around that main position, but nothing doing. Device with the AWP outside. Got Ali up to his usual tricks with his off angles. Now getting into a more aggressive position. Sometimes he looks towards the further left side of T-Red from his perspective. No one's going too far just yet for Astralis. They've got smokes to deploy should they want to do so. Aerial's creeping outside as well. He's getting closer actually, almost in a flanking position.
Yeah, such a good spot to kind of take in the mid rounds, because if Astralis then decide to, as they may here, send a couple players outside, it's pretty likely that Aerial will not only be able to deal with it, but they don't need to have as much attention, do ENCE, on the outside position. They can basically say, okay, Aerial, you're in early warning position. And he's going to realize that there's no one behind those smokes outside, so because of Aerial's forward position, ENCE have every tidbit of information they need to know what's coming ahead of time.
They don't believe their lies. Very tight choke point. It might not be so easy, though, for Alexi to defend it. Gonna have to avoid the initial grenades coming through. Glaive creeping. Sergey taken down. No answer just yet. There's the first frag from Alexi. Some free fire from both sides. Who's gonna get it? Oh, bell's being rung, but Magisk is the one to get the kill. 25 seconds to plant this bomb. They don't have the high ground just yet. Aerial's being taken out. We've got X7 creeping forward, and we've got presence in main as well, but the bomb will get planted. 4 versus 2 post-plant for Astralis. And ENCE don't really have position. And again, their money got almost completely wiped out in the rebuy, so they'll have to fall back.
No choice but to surrender and run tail between legs. And good look here for Astralis, bringing themselves back into this one. And it's always a good and confident sign that despite the opponent knowing exactly what you're doing, you still come out in a 4 versus 2. Not bad at all. ENCE, what do they have to show in the coming round? Because we saw the aggression previously into the lobby position through ramp and hut, and that was really effective. It's very unexpected, and that's the kind of move that you can go, that you usually throw in there once you have kind of a read on the default of your opponent. And let's say if they hold one person in a holding lobby, then maybe that's a guy you can split on, if that's how their default usually. Like, some teams are very light on lobby control early in their defaults, but to throw it in so early is pretty bold. So I'm curious to see if ENCE have more aggression on this CT side to show us, or if they'll go ultra passive now as a mix-up.
Tactical timeout from ENCE has elapsed, and weapons are being purchased. We've got 3 Augs on deck at the moment. We'll see what else joins them in this buy time. Again, a great opportunity for Astralis to really crush ENCE and continue their comeback. Shout out to the guys from the UK who've made their way over to Madrid for these finals. Met a few of them in a crowd earlier on. Always nice to see international attendance. Okay, so here we go. The 3 Augs AWP, the M4. Now all the money's been spent. Not perfect utility. Alu with an aggressive first pick on device, and it gets better for ENCE with Glaive taken out outside.
Great start. Charles holding on to lobby, but only 2 players left after outside had failed. Also, the squeaky pressure failed. What's left? You got to summon and concoct a scheme on the fly in a 3 versus 5. It's really difficult on a map like Nuke. It's kind of like Train in that way, where the CTs can give up some position and like overall position, and sort of just tighten up the defense. And okay, maybe you can get a bit of outside. Maybe you can get a bit of control towards lobby and ramp or something, but ultimately you're not getting near the bomb sites, and there's every single point of contact there'll be a player posted up on that, and that's kind of what Astralis are looking at here. X7 can be able to take down Dupree as he goes on the red container outside, and Magisk now is getting desperate. Someone has to make a play. Someone's got to open this up with some kills, because time is running out and they're running out of players as well.
This might be too much to ask for the clutch minister. 2 versus 5 on a T side of Nuke. Or any side of Nuke for that matter. 30 seconds. What will they choose to do? Magisk has made a sound. That's half the info. Picking up an AWP would suggest a save to me. 20 seconds. And they're slowly moving away from the choke points. Back to T-spawn. New Nuke doesn't have that that staff booth with all the blood smudged on it like the old one did. I kind of missed that. It was my kind of morbid. Now we've just got a truck.
It left questions to be answered. It was a mystery. It was really unknown as to what really went on there. But there were some clues. Either way, I wonder if there's any clues here for Astralis into, you know, how they can tackle this defense of ENCE. I like how both Astralis and ENCE respectively have won through timeout so far and, you know, been forced to save. ENCE, though, they will continue to grow their lead. 7-2. However, the money is decent for Astralis, and the buy is also decent. So Ariel will throw flashbang over the top of main to slow any fast timings down. And Magis there as well. Ready and waiting. It's a deep, deep smoke, James. I'll cover the window position.
Ooh, marvelous
that's
stuff.
Awesome. Ooh, Glaive, he knows something.
Some promising spray, but it's Astralis mostly in the red despite all of that. Fadeaway grenades as well, and that really hasn't given them anything. They haven't made it a secret. The smokes have come and gone. Device and Dupree both on 16 HP. Got Alu at the back of Secret. He's got some sound cues if they do try to run. It would be a gauntlet run. There are no smokes left for Astralis. And Magis has walked into the wrong direction. Sniper rally, he'll get taken out. Got some flashes and grenades to buy time. But that will allow Glaive to sneak downstairs.
Yeah, you can't trade that kill in the garage, but Zipex wins the kill over towards Rab. Really important. X7, though. He's going to shut down the only open avenue of attack towards the lower bomb site. Everything was invested towards Secret. They have a lurk in Zipex towards Squeaky, who could have dropped down the vent, but they have to get lower first. Now they have to challenge Alu. Great cover coming in from Ariel from the main position. Now it's just Zipex, and he's going to get the kill onto Ariel, but there's no hope left for him. ENCE pick up yet another round. Their CT side is looking methodical and clinical at this point, and Astralis are seemingly struggling to find a way to break it open.
Astralis slowly dismantled in that round. Absolutely left in pieces. 6th round lead for ENCE. That was a big opportunity for Astralis to mount the comeback. Now ENCE starting to build a little cash. But Astralis have some as well, such as the nature of the new economy here in Counter-Strike. Got some conversation on the Astralis side. They've taken a timeout. They've got a few seconds left before we get into buy time. They look pretty focused. It is the first map of the best of 3 series. They've passed all the knife edge tests of the best of 1s.
And again, James, you know, if we look at the bigger storylines here, Astralis need to win this grand finals. There are so many reasons why they've had some hiccups. You're only allowed in their position to have so many across the year. If it's really to be, you know, the most dominant part of your story, you're allowed maybe 1 or 2 hiccups, but they were to lose this finals against ENCE. ENCE is a great team, but I think it would start to get quite interesting, but I'll have to hold that fort because in comes the quick upper play. Huge change of pace from Astralis. I think LXCB spotted the drop there, which is critical to understand. Let's see how ENCE will adjust to that. Having a player down lower that early can be very troublesome for the CTs to deal with.
X7 is on the B bomb site, trying to protect the coolant. Ooh, you can't just walk out there for free device. What on earth were you thinking?
Oh,
Ariel
no.
with this AUG around Garage, around the main position. He's been devastating so far. He's been so dangerous, and he continues to be. He's seen the bomb, which gives a lot of intentions away, and he's dropped it again. Sorry, Alexi's done it this time from the silo. No respect style from ENCE, and that leaves Glaive in a 1 versus 4. They know exactly where he is. He can do nothing. It looks like men versus boys at the moment.
Yeah, ENCE just made Astralis look like amateurs. Just 2 kills for free. The bomb's down on the ground. What's happening? LXCB up on the silo with the big flank to take down 2 more. Astralis never got to play the round. That's the problem. And that will give ENCE 9 to the 2 of Astralis. That is a pretty big lead now, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop growing anytime soon. At least Astralis have a bye to contend with, but again, they haven't found any success, James. It's been very limited. And we haven't even seen any, you know, clutch situations. It's not about ENCE, you know, winning these, you know, 1v1 after plant clutches. We're not really seeing the bomb plants. We're not really seeing them crack open the bomb sites and abuse rotation. They're struggling to get their game plan going. and flowing.
Do they go back to a fast A execute? That was dismantled as well. Doesn't seem like they can find a crack in the defenses or ENCE at the moment. They are looking very solid indeed. The AWP on device would suggest a slower round to me. He's picked up a decoy. Always interesting to keep an eye on a decoy on a sniper player because he can use it as a fake to bait someone to peek. So we'll see if that happens later on. But for now, we ride with Glaive around these smokes. Quickly moving to the secret. Ooh, stopping in almost the wrong position. I don't know if a foot was seen through the bottom of the smoke or if it was just good timing. Alexi B looks ready as well. Or he was. Those are sound cues, very important ones for Astralis. They know that, or they should know that a CT has moved into the vent position. Starting to execute into the A site now with some erratic timing. LXB coming up through the vent again. Sergey not quite ready. Aerial getting a frag. Can LXB pick the right time to strike? Out he comes, and he won't get anything. Back in the vent he goes. 3 versus 2 for Astralis.
All right, okay. Good chance for Astralis now to get the bomb plant, to lock down these choke points. Still a Molotov there for Device. Alu and X7 with some grenades of their own, but the position's difficult. They both have to come from heaven. That's important. X7 opens it up. Where's the trade from Alu, though? He's unable to find it. Pulls out the USP. It's not good enough. Magisk will take him out. And a much-needed round for Astralis. Just as you said, James, that erratic timing, I think it's a good way to describe it. It really caught ENCE off guard. They were not expecting such a fast upper take to come in. It seemed like it came out of nowhere from their perspective.
Reminds me a little of this banker who used to play poker for millions of dollars, and he had a watch created to give him tiny electric shocks at random. And when he got a shock, he would play, so he didn't have, it wasn't predictable as to what he was doing, and it helps him win. So erratic timing can be very fruitful. Maybe let their guard down for a second. Now they might get nervous, ENCE. There's a 6-round lead, but again, that could really change if Astralis can win this particular round. But they've failed those tests before in this game already. Alu searching outside, going up. Does he go to the well once again? He gets his bell rung through the floor. He'll fall back with 50 HP, but again, aerial outside is such a problem for these players. This AUG is devastating them. There's a trade from Device, but a bomb is spotted close to main, and that's got to make Astralis nervous. Here's Alexi B, down goes the bomb once more. MP9 fast fire right up close, a little strafing. And Zipex will trade, but he's 1 versus 3. He's got to go and collect the bomb, let alone try and plant it.
At least it's just in the open for him. It's not under CT control per se, but with the amount of players that they have, they can play such safe positions that Zipex is always going to be in a disadvantage. Even if they don't know where he's coming from, they'll have everything covered. So that doesn't really matter too much. It's going to take a miracle for Zipex here, and got to be careful. Don't give him a kill. But they have confirmed where he's coming from, which does help quite a lot. And with 30 seconds left, there's only so much he can do. At the moment, he's just holding his ground, hoping that someone will push him. And that smoke went a little bit too deep, but that's okay. 20 seconds now. He'll finally get the bomb. But at this point, he's only left with one option. That's to go to the upper bomb site to plant, or to save, or to try and die. It's the only options that are left. And X7 just jumping on the railings. That is a bit mad, but it's going to work out. And that's 10-3. ENCE climbing.
That's got to be really annoying, the way he is coming in and out like that. Insult to injury, maybe. 10-3, ENCE with a statement at the beginning of this best-of-3 series. By no means is this game over. Astralis could entirely have a mirror half once the sides change, so let's make no assumptions, but ENCE are looking very strong on their CT side. 5 scopes on the Finnish side, 4 AUGs and an AWP on Alu. Starting with their normal setup, Astralis bouncing a smoke towards main to deny information to stop the crossfire, which has been brutal, trying to contain Aerial should he be there. He's been such a problem for them.
A change of direction, though, as Astralis try to burst through the ramp position. X7 has to give it up, fall back. Astralis have that position now, and Dupree works on secret so they can split the lower bomb site, and that's what they're going to go with. Keep it simple, and keep it simple they will, and headshots will be the reward as Zipex watches for this flank, and he can just fall back now. Doesn't have to put anything to chance, smoking it off. Doesn't really feel like there's any way back in at this point. ENCE, they just didn't do enough damage when Astralis made their entry, and there's too much utility left, too much position. for Astralis, so they will be forced to back away. So that is a much-needed round for Astralis. But can they do it again? 5 rounds is the best case for this first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's partly the score, but just the fashion in which ENCE are winning is fantastic to see. But again, they are solid on both sides of this map.
Yeah.
Fire. There we go. They are solid on both sides of this map. So there's plenty more carnage to come from the Finns. Here we are, last round of the first half. Both teams on the bye. No sniper for Astralis, but maybe that's... well, let's see. Device is going to pick something up. I saw a Krieg, or maybe I didn't. Anyway, it's 5 AKs. Will they go for a fast play into the A-bomb site? Device is certainly lining up. Probably a flashbang. There we go. Not sure if that hit the right mark, or maybe it did. I don't know. Zipex has darted into the B-bomb site, but the mere vent being broken will be a warning. Aerial, will Zipex see him? Yes, he will. There's one taken out. Can he find a second? He can see him, can't frag him. Alu looking towards Squeaky now. Could be a problem. Dupree doesn't know if he's watching the angle. Of course, him to use utility. Out he comes, up close. The MP9 again is a problem. A 2-man spray down, and a bomb's being collected as well. Sergey on the high ground, and it looks like 11 for ENCE.
It was set up so well, Zipex, on that flank, but part of the strength of a flank is not just getting a kill, it's keeping yourself alive. That's the huge strength. The threat that's generated can be impressive and very difficult to deal with. However, they were unable to capitalize upon Zipex's plays, and now they're just stuck. 1 versus 3, Device with it all to do against 3 very, I think, very focused ENCE players. They are absolutely feeling it today. And it's going to be very difficult for Device. He'll throw the smoke out. That'll give up his position now. And he's in a choke point. It's too easy. Sergey makes it work. Lovely stuff from ENCE. That is a formidable result. An 11-4 first half against Astralis. And we know ENCE is a great T-side team, James. They are setting themselves up for a very strong start in this best-of-3 finals.
Look how focused Alu is. He is ready to shut down Astralis round after round, capitalize on this 7-round lead. 5 rounds away from the first map in the bag. Alu definitely wants to fill his bag today.
Yeah, he's one of those players that always appears to have this stone-cold demeanor no matter what's happening. You don't see any emotions showing. It's very rare with Alu. And here are the highlights of the first half. And we're going to see a lot of dominance from ENCE. We're going to see a lot of kills from Aerial. He did so much great work towards the outside, especially around the smokes. And he made some of the rounds look pretty free, honestly. As we can see, ENCE with that pretty clean 5-0 start. X7 locking down ramp, Aerial locking down outside. This was a great aggression as well. We only saw it once from ENCE, but they picked the perfect moment as the 5th round where they chose to split push into the lobby position, punishing a default from Astralis. And it's difficult, as you said, James. We didn't see many post-plant situations where it came down to clutches. It just came down to ENCE stopping Astralis before they could ever get going.
Good average of kills on both sides, although I'm sure Astralis would have liked more on their side, but everyone is delivering what they can for each side at this point. 14 kills for Aerial and X7, I do believe. They're leading the charge on the leaderboard. Let's see if they can pick it up and continue where they left off now that they move on to the T side. Very important pistol round coming up for Astralis, of course. With only 4 rounds on the board, you can't really afford to lose the pistol. So, I mean, that's pretty crucial for both sides. ENCE could just run away and shut this down before Astralis can get started if they can win the pistol. And Astralis could catch up pretty quickly if they can win the pistol themselves. So, a lot to play for with the USPs and Glocks to come.
Absolutely. See Aerial here. We've mentioned him a lot in his play outside in the first half of this match, and he has been really important to just shutting down Astralis and limiting their options by the amount of damage. You can see that ADR over 100. That's always a very strong spot to be in. I definitely think he's going to be a force in this grand finals, not just on Nuke, but on any of the remaining maps as well. But it was, I mean, always, as always with ENCE, it's a team effort though as well, James. They are a great team.
Absolutely, and we are very close to the action now. Indeed, the countdown has begun, 15 seconds away. Plenty of utility picked up by ENCE on the likes of X7 and Alexi B. I don't see any P250s here on Nuke. All Kevlar for Astralis, not concerned with any diffuse kits, anything like that. They're just looking to pop heads, to squeeze grapes between their fingers, to explode the watermelons, whatever you prefer.
So here it is, 5 Kevlars. They want to fight, and fight they will for that upper bomb site. Astralis, Dupree is so awkward there, but he's still alive somehow, down to 31 HP. Still getting the shots off, still getting kills. Although eventually Silence, the 2v2 is where we're at. Azariel and Alexi B need to claim this upper bomb site, but they can't really afford to go for a plant. They have lots of time, but as soon as someone tries to go for a plant, that is someone that doesn't have his gun in his hands, and that's when the CTs can strike as far as they're concerned. So they will edge back in towards Hut. I think this makes a lot of sense with all the time that they have available to them. And they can go all the way down to ramp or wrap up towards Heaven. Would be a bit more risky than going down ramp to lower bomb site. And Zipex, oh, he just spots them. That is so much information. But can he find an angle? Now Device is coming through as well. And they do spot Zipex. But will Device be the X factor here as he... Oh, he goes back up to Heaven. So perhaps not. I can't believe they escaped that one with 2 men still standing against.
I wonder if they heard Device and thought it was behind them, because the timing was pretty similar. But they will start to plant the bomb safely. The door's being opened. Zipex not showing just yet. Angle's being held by Aerial. Door open, door closed, door opened, and Device is doing the same on his side. Stereo frags for Astralis, and they win an all-important pistol. They had to win that, and they will be successful. And now we've got a game on our hands.
But there's a really interesting point to this, James, because there's 2 decisions ENCE can make. They could say, okay, we're ahead a lot of rounds, let's just play for the most 4-buys we possibly can. Or they could say, we got the bomb down, let's run and execute a set piece onto the upper bomb side, or a delayed set piece onto the upper bomb side, and just throw all our money in the bag, maybe get an AKs onto people, and then hammer the CZ economy. Even if we don't win, we want it to be that Astralis never feel comfortable. Those are the 2 options. I like it, James. They're going with the aggressive option. We got the force buy.
The hero AK on Aerial. Can he continue to be a giant pain? Long spray, and that's all the warning that Astralis needed. But how can they respond to it? Glaive with some burst, taking out X7 on the roof, and the frags start raining in for Astralis. The AK has been taken out of action. We've got Alu with a UMP and Sergey with with a MAC-10. Both on the B-bomb site. A bomb plant would be crucial. Trying to create space for themselves to plant with the Molotov. And there it goes. Device throwing a HE. That'll do some damage. 5 versus 2. The bomb's been planted now, so the main concern, the only concern really for Astralis is minimal losses.
Now he's been spotted now as well. Sergey, the unknown element, but now he's been spotted as well. Going for those headshots with the UMP, difficult. Max 10 at range as well. It's very ambitious. Won't work out, but they do get another bomb down. But the problem for ENCE, I would say, in this round is not just getting the bomb. Well, it's that getting the bomb down is not quite enough. I think they would have wanted to get another 2 kills at the very least. If they had done that, there is a real argument to go for another force buy. But I think in this position, they may just want to half buy and give up this force buy, the force buy shenanigans, and just allow Astralis to just sit on the economy and just grow it a little bit.
There was no diffuse kits in that round, despite the numbers. If they were able to hang on for a little longer, then it would have been a close diffuse for sure. It would have been a close one. 5-round lead for ENCE. We have Dupree with the MP5, which is very interesting. The MP7 is better in terms of
everything,
packing a punch and so on, but if you do want to spray through a smoke, obviously you won't have traces from the MP5. That is the advantage of that weapon. It is more inaccurate overall.
Well, the AK's been lost outside. 7 will go for it. He'll pick up the AK, but the problem is all of his teammates are dead. The hero AK play not working here for ENCE. And again, they really wanted damage. They lacked it in the previous round, and it's looking like they're going to lack it here as well. X7 They need a couple kills at least. It still might not be good enough, and I don't think they're going to get any at this rate. Well, at least everyone's had a turn, James. Everyone's had a turn with the AK. Oh, wow. It's been utterly denied.
I respect the patience. He can't take a duel. Not worth the spray down. The taps are his best bet because he will be cut to ribbons with no Kevlar. Didn't quite happen for him. And now the deficit is just 4. And I do mean just, especially with the caliber of the teams on the server. ENCE, we know they've got some solid executes into the A-bomb site and elsewhere on their T side. Now it's their time to show it. Alu's on a Tech 9 only. The rest of the team with the AK-47s. Tech 9 still a mystery to many, but we have seen it be effective in its current state on a few different people's hands. 4 Orgs and the AK-47 out for Astralis, waiting for ENCE to make their play. Plenty of utility used by both sides, some delay tactics towards Secret, but it will be taken. It will be heard as well, but the main push is in towards the A-bomb site, and it's aerial, of course. Matt just making his way down into the flames, and there's a frag for Alu and one for X7 as well. Tech 9 getting to work early, and Astralis could be in trouble.
Yeah, it's looking quite troublesome indeed. Glaive will take down Alu, but at this point, 4v2, I don't think that those are the odds that Astralis want to be up against, and they may just try to protect their own economy at this point. And indeed, Zipex backs away, Glaive backs away, and ENCE with a fast pace have found a good round to pick up. And this is one of their strengths on the T side, is that they're a team that has really good quick decision making as a team. So their movement as a team is really good, as well as their spacing. So they always have this opportunity to set up trade kills, and they're so quick that sometimes that's a fundamental of playing a T side. But they have it down so effectively, and sometimes the basics are all you need to succeed in anything. And that's what they have going for them on this T side.
ENCE are 83% on Nuke. Over 6 maps in the last 3 months. And I don't know about you, Dan, but I think that percentage might improve in the next hour, well, next half an hour.
It's really hard to say, isn't it? Because I feel like this is the moment where Astralis make the comeback and make it really competitive, or it's where ENCE start to run away with it.
They just feel like an unstoppable force of nature to me on Nuke. So here is the ENCE execute. They're making their way in. They spot players high and low, but can they execute them? Dupree gets taken down. Mad is still alive for a second. He gets 2 kills. The trades continue, 3 versus 2 in favor of Astralis, trying to thwart the bomb plants and buy time for themselves with the Molotov through the smoke onto the site. And more smokes continue. Now there are options for ENCE to make their way into the B-bomb site. They won't do it quietly moving into the vents. Alu is carrying the bomb. We'll go for a fast one. Now, is Sergey joining him, or is he looking to cut off the rotators? It seems like it might be the latter. It's a gamble. It might not pay off, though. I don't think he's seen Zipex. He is checking, though. He's going for a long one towards the ramp, and this might be a problem for Alu.
Yeah, they've gone for a huge gamble here to get the bomb down, in which they're separated for quite some time. Alu just has to hold on just for enough time. That is beautiful, though. Takes down Glaive. The trade comes in. But the bomb, oh, Zipex can just hold it, but he doesn't realize. Sergey's in position. Oh my God, if they just realized that Sergey was up there, they can hold the defuse, they can stick it. But Zipex was there looking for him, and Sergey nailed every single bullet.
That's next level. Probably the last place you expect Sergey to be, based on where the bomb was planted. If they just hopped on the bomb and started defusing, he's got no angle, he's got no Molotov, he's got no way to stop them. Took Astralis by surprise. Only 3 rounds away from the first map now, ENCE. Big war of attrition on the A-bomb side, but it finishes on B. Beautiful play with Sergey on a T side, picking up an AUG. Nerves of steel. Wow. He looks like he's shopping for oranges.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just nothing going on there. Oh, I think I saw a slight bit of emotion.
No, you didn't. Definitely not.
It's just a robot. And indeed, if you watched him in the game, you could think it be that way. Just so decisive, great decision-making, clean execution and mechanics. And 13-7, it's difficult now for Astralis. They've only got 4 CZs, an AUG, and two Kevlars. That's it. This should be, in theory, at 14-7, but CZ is very dangerous in the right place, in the right situation. Glaive with that Org will find nothing, and that Org is unrecoverable. So it's just down to the 3 CZs that remain for Astralis to do something, but I don't know how likely it is against what ENCE are bringing to the table here.
Bossman Natu must be pleased. I'm sure he's watching as they eliminate these ecoing Astralis players. Only Magisk remaining now. Lovely spray from Aerial, and ENCE now have double the score of Astralis in the first map of this best-of-3 series. Train will be the second map, and we might not be so far away from that.
Moment of pause for all to collect themselves. And Astralis, they've got the all back onto device. And the problem in a situation like this where you're struggling on the CT side is that you're much more reactive. It's the T side that is able to take so much initiative. See the door blown open, and you can see Astralis throwing in the counter utility straight away because they don't want to get caught by that fast execute upper. Nice kill from Aerial. They'll lose one player outside, that's Alu, but in trading like that, they're going to make the move into the upper bomb side. They just don't care, James.
Dupree trying to hold things down, but there's too many targets. 4 versus 2. Device and Zipex have decisions to make. Do they die on the sword? Is this the hill they die on? Or do they wait for the next one? Maybe the final one. There's only so much they can really do. Aerial sending Zipex flying, leaving Device alone now to hold on to the AWP. Depending on the money for ENCE, he may be hunted. Flashes towards the heaven position as ENCE move to game points. Looking to take a 1-0 lead. Wide swing from Aerial. They know where he is now. How much do they want to invest into this? They've lost 2 players and they may leave Device to it. Plenty of chances to take this game for ENCE. It's been fantastic so far.
Yeah, they haven't really slowed down, and that's such an important quality. Some teams, you know, they'll get close and then they'll struggle. The closer they get, the struggle will increase. And they'll slow down towards the end, but this is a remarkable pace from ENCE so far. And again, we saw this from them on Dust2 earlier today. Sometimes ENCE will have a plan as to how to open up around it, and things will change really quickly because the other team will get maybe a decisive pick. But then ENCE just responds so fast as a team, and they decide to just push together somewhere. And everyone's, I think, except them, are just left like, what? Like, okay, this is hard to adjust to. We're all out of position. And they're always set up with that trade, that good trade spacing between the players. And we saw that moving into the upper bomb site. So their ability to speed things up at a moment's notice is one of the greatest things about them, I think. And we're going to see true desperation because Dupree's purchased a Mag 7. It's never purchased when you're not in desperation. So to me, that's not a good sign. 2 UMPs. UMP very serviceable. Great bang for buck as far as the SMGs go. But it's the AWP of Device. That might be really where the round needs to be decided. He's got to find a way to get that thing going, but with great utility usage, he can be shut down.
The execute begins outside. Astralis missing on Nuke. Out come the smoke. Second one is delayed. Alexi B caught in the open. Astralis would assume that the secret position is compromised, but how do they react to it? Glaives move down the vent. UMP, little peek. He can't fight to the death there. It's not to his advantage. Trying to create space for himself. Some spray. Sergey and Aerial getting taken out. Zipex will be as well. 2 versus 4. Rarely in favor of Astralis. This time it is. Bomb being planted. Ali will pick up an AK to be more nimble against the numbers. Retake with a UMP and a Mag 7. Not ideal. Alu spotted. Glaive poking, prodding, looking for something. There's one kit on these 4 players. Beautiful angle from the Device. And that leaves Alu trying to pre-fire and meet shots from the Mag 7. So far, so good. Down to the Tech 9. And Astralis are still alive. 3 players surviving as they move to 8.
There's a world where Device is not scoped up at that timing, or that he's moving or something, and he doesn't get that kill, and everything goes very, very, very wrong. Oh my god, the finest of margins here for Astralis to hang on with a thread of life in this one, in the first map of this grand finals. And we have no reason to suspect that ENCE are going to slow down anytime soon. They seem to be finding great form. It's another round, though. Just have to see how they decide to open things up. Blowing up the door as per usual, really forcing a lot of utility from Astralis early every round. And look how fast they are moving again outside Glaive. Has no idea that they're in main. And all of a sudden his teammates are going down there and he's lurking around the smoke, but they've lost the upper bomb site.
That might be the end of the line. Those 4 words, bomb has been planted. 3v3 as Alu is taken out. Glaive spraying through the smoke. Zipex creeping up towards what used to be a door, and now it's just an opening. The spray not working out for X7. There's still a chance here for Astralis. Again, just the 1 kit on Zipex. Is he close enough? Sergey, this could be a very important frag. He can't find it though. Now the kit can get closer. Alexi B, can he avoid the trade? The spray down. Has he bought enough time? He needs to stay alive, but he can't. Glaive's got the kit, but has he got the defuse? It's going to be a close one. Are they still alive? I think they might be. Just about. That was so close. 9 rounds for Astralis.
9 rounds. Oh my god, every single round is going to be like this though at this point. ENCE, they're so dangerous. They were doing on their T side what Astralis were struggling to, which is to always put it into these clutch moments, these after plants. That's what was missing from Astralis' first half, their T side, but ENCE are showing that every round is at risk no matter what they have. And speaking of which, their money's almost completely depleted, but this is another full buy from ENCE. They've got an AWP on Alu, AKs on everybody else. And they're going to be taking forward positions on the outside. X7, oh my god. Just taking down the push straight away. Deciding to get aggressive. It's backfired here for the Danes. How do they pull themselves out of this one? It's going to be tough.
Ruthless aggression from ENCE in response to that. And clutch defuse from Astralis. On the cusp of double figures. I was about to say that 6 rounds doesn't feel like so much when it's Astralis, but ENCE disagree violently. Creeping towards the main position, even seeing the shadow, nothing you can do about it. 5 versus 2, and storming towards the final round on Nuke. Madrid trying to rotate as fast as he can, spotting 1 player, still can't get a frag. There's 2 almost free plays in that position. Halu gets taken out. The bomb's not planted just yet. Glaive making his way to the upper position. Can he stop it? I don't think he can. Aerial holding the angle. Now it's Madrid. They know where he is. Magisk versus 3 to keep Astralis on Nuke.
It's going to be tough. The flashbang goes out. It's going to have to be pretty epic to find a way to defeat the discipline of ENCE because, oh well, there it is through the smoke. It's as easy as that. Oh wow, 16-9.